Hello, everyone. I'm going to give you some weekly recap ending on the week of January 21st, um, 2021, Friday. The markets ran higher pre and post inauguration, mainly on the optimism of American transition to a new administration until Friday finally pulled back a bit. Dow ended a week of 3996.98, Nasdaq at 13543.06, and S&P 500 at 3841.47. Part of the pullback was due to the concern of COVID-19 spread. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson warned the strain is 30% deadlier than the original virus and also expected to be 50 to 30% to 70% more contagious. Bitcoin recovered to 33,817 after hitting a week low of $28,000. Oil price stayed above $50 this week even after increased inventory accrued. The home existing sales number and initial jobless claim numbers both were better than consensus. Credit and debit card spending accelerated through the first 2 weeks of January. I'm not sure if that is a good thing or not. And just to give you a quick recap, if you would look at the screen here, Dow Jones Industrial Average for January year-to-date have 1.3% higher. S&P 500 index is 2.3% higher, and Nasdaq is 5.1% higher. And right now, currently, you're looking at after hours, which is the P-market of U.S. futures for Monday, January 25th. And you can see that all three major indices were higher, leading higher, and there's something to do with very bullish in the Asia market at this moment that the stock were actually pushing higher, and also a more expectation of optimism about the earnings that are going to be announced for Apple and all these big companies. So, and then just to recap again, last week what were some of the highlights? General Motors share jumped 9.7% after announced partnership with Microsoft on self-driving vehicles. Boeing Company gained 3.1% as Canada said it would lift a near 2-year freight ban on its 737 MAX. Morgan Stanley report fourth quarter earnings that beat analyst expectations. United Airlines tumbled after fourth quarter result missed Wall Street expectations. The company cautioned that travel may continue to be lower despite vaccines being distributed nationwide. IBM fell short on expectation. The stock has tumbled as much as 10%. GameStop has a tremendous week that a stock has skyrocketed to over $50 from last year low of $5 and $20 last year. The shares fluctuated around a new support level 39 at the start of the week, and more posts on Wall Street bets urged traders to hold off on selling and keep the rally alive. So somebody was said that the GameStop only worth $20 and there should be a correction, but then the person will hold a lot of share of GameStop trying to push it and make it to be further rally. I mean, you can see that kind of thing similar to Tesla. Last year, Tesla was, probably 2019 and sometime in 2020, Tesla was the most stock that was having a lot of short sellers. But a lot of time, every time the short seller actually lost heck a lot of money of Tesla because their share price actually go higher and higher. Of course, you need some justification. Otherwise, once you pass the point, resistance point, then you will be fall back and you will actually have a major correction with stock if it's only speculative in because of the balances of trade that created that upward prices temporary. Two companies that went on public trade, RLX Technology and Purchaser Investment, symbol PAX, both prices were a lot higher than anticipated. There's some evidence that new variants of coronavirus first identified in UK may be up to 30% more deadly than previous variants, the UK government said. S&P 500, again, because of that, it was actually pulling back lower Friday. This is something treated with non-change given that US federal budget deficit itself is already at $4.5 trillion. After the Trump administration, $3 trillion plus COVID-19 stimulus for last year. The national debt is meanwhile approaching $28 trillion, and total to GDP is as stern as 146%. That just gives me some idea about the national debt level, but personally, I don't care too much about it. I mean, the interesting about U.S. is. They have a lot of debt, but yet they are the largest and strongest country in the world. At least people said that. So they're the leader of the world. So they were able to sustain. I guess there's a lot of something to do with credibility more than anything else, right? You can be broke, but if people trust you and are credible, you can still do business. That's how I see it. The coming week earnings announcement will definitely set the market direction and sentiments. Microsoft, symbol MSFT, reports after close on Tuesday, followed by Apple, symbol AAPL. Facebook, symbol FB, and Tesla, symbol TSLA, which already joined the S&P 500 a day later. Fed policymakers will hold their first meeting since Democrats last week took control of the Senate. I don't think there will be any surprise on their policy, but rather probably reiterate the stimulus backed by Fed as it deems it necessary for the economic recovery. There really not much interest rate going to change and rise, and money continue to be on the sideline. Definitely the economy right now, unemployment rate, it will be given very clear indication that it's still needed. Like me, I have told you many times, I'm still looking for jobs. Also, there will be an economic calendar also featured data on durable goods order on Wednesday, initial jobless claims number on Thursday, which basically every Thursday, and personal income and spending data on Friday. Virtual event, the World Economic Forum, will be taking place this week, and there are a lot of topics to cover for these leaders. The International Monetary Fund is to update its global economic growth forecast on Tuesday. So there are a lot of going on this week, and most likely will pinpoint direction economic growth in the U.S. and outlook for the world. While many people believe the valuation too high, recall that the situation was similar to 2005, yet it took the stock market 3 more years before it crashed. So a lot of concern going on. People ask me what I'm looking at this year, 2021, and whether, we were going to settle for correction soon. My idea is, some people may try to mimic what happened last year and will try to reproduce it again. Because a lot of time what you learn in human beings, right? If you can make money out of what you have done in the action that you have created, you want to do it again and make gains, right? But if all of the people have this type of mindset and the timing was action around the same time, which also find excuses on the macroeconomic factors, some happen to the policy making that wasn't happy or upset some people, then there will always a sell-off opportunity, right? So while we're looking very wildly and everybody pushing the market and stock higher, that is really the one of the concern. And the other thing is, effectiveness of vaccine. That it still need more data to really prove or saying whether effective or not at this point. So what if, right? I'm big if I hope it's not happening. Otherwise, I'm not sure when the world or the U.S. economy ever going to be recovered, right? I don't know how much. For myself, for example, out of job and only getting this little support from government will be able to survive, how long can you do that, right? And the worst sarcastic piece is even if you get a job, you have a lot more work to do and you still get a huge pay cut, which means you're going backward, right? So I don't know, but that is the economic cycle, you can argue that. But so what I'm going to key in at, is this, right? Besides optimism, a bigger word in my vocabulary, hope. We need to have hopes and stay positive to get through this difficult, challenging time. Political leaders and corporations have to take the responsibilities to turn things around and people go back to normal faster. One example is, hey, if Apple going to make a quick earning announcement, right? If Microsoft going to beat out of the water, these big companies are really making heck a lot of money. Well, how are they making money? Is it raffling or cutting costs? Well, cutting costs mean laying people off? Well, here's the deal, right? If you keep laying people off, the bunch of people will have reasonable pay. We're not talking about the $15, the minimum wage that Biden was concerned about. That's one group of people. We're talking about a bunch of people, middle class of people, or even you make $100,000 in America, it's still middle class, come on. So, what are these people doing if they got laid off? How are they going to find jobs, right? That is really what I really more keen on when I look at the whole economic situation of the world, right? Because people, you can always talk about rich people, you can also talk about, poor people, but hey, the reality who really surface up the world is really majority. We talk about majority democracy, well, then middle class people. So what are you going to do with the middle class people? right? You can't just say, hey, you guys go figure, you can survive, okay? Or you get a job minimum wage pay now, $15 an hour. That doesn't make any sense, right? So this is how I'm really, really keen on my video. You can watch about it and listen what I said. I hope it makes sense to you, right? So this is why I personally give respect to Bill Gates, who does charity work and give a lot of money researching vaccine. Elon Musk, who also leading the changes in economic downturn, and many other rich people. I mean, they really, I mean, if you think about it, they do put a lot of money on charity. I mean, obviously they get tax break too, but really, I hope it really come from their heart whether they get a tax break or not, and they do understood that. I mean, the world is the only way to have harmony, accept a whole bunch of people, and especially in America with mix of races of different classes, you gotta have a balance, right? So I think what the problem we're having right now is while we're economic so bad, I mean, if we're looking at the economy recover, many people suffer, and some of them are not on the boat, put it that way. So government trying to collect some data, but you know what? I don't think my mom is going to be one of them in the list. There's so many people actually out of that data. You're not going to find it. You try to quantify the unemployment rate number. You're not going to get one because some people already drop off. Some people never have a job, you know. And but right now, the economy is bad. They don't have money. The family are out of money. Well, do they need a job? Do they need to pay bills, right? So all this other stuff driving more complexity of what's going on. But I hope, I do hope people have some more sensitivity around. We love people. We care about people, and that's just my view, and we will get through this together. But apparently, there's a lot of things to deal with to even things back to normal, like psychologically, or changing the ways how we work now in the future, right? I mean, I think that is something we need to think about. And what happened to those, stock that benefit from working from home to like Zoom, right? All three major indices again is positive right now at the moment in the futures, and I'm pretty sure they are really expect and look forward to these giant tech and big company reporting. Some rally was probably driven by China. China was pretty bullish right now. So that's why the Asia market is up to. My bet is that on Monday, which is tomorrow, is starting off a week. The market will remain strong and will go more up Wally, unless there's some surprise on the earning missed it, or Thursday as well, we'll look at the unemployment number if it's another surprise and disappointment. Other than that, I hope you have watched my other video and know what to. If you ever buy those stocks, seriously consider to buy those, and you will be good for this year. Thank you very much.